Hello once again, lovely students. You're welcome to JCL Tutorials. This is a platform where I make social studies simple for you and make sure that you're able to perform in this subject in class and at the same time do well out there as a responsible citizen. Today, I've come your way with another lesson and it's a pleasure. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for watching my videos and also liking them. Continue to share with other friends so that they can also benefit from all these lessons that we've been having. In our last lesson, you remember we started with Ghana, my country, or my country, Ghana, or our country, Ghana. And we are just looking at anything that Ghana has as a country, what makes us up. So we started with the national symbol or the symbols of national unity. And you also remember we looked at the ways of promoting national unity, and then from there we moved to the position of Ghana on the globe. So we saw the latitudinal position and the longitudinal position. If I remember, and you also do as I'm thinking, we said that the latitudinal position of Ghana is 5 degrees north, 11 degrees north, and the longitudinal position of Ghana is 1 degree east and then 5 degrees west. I'm sure you remember this. And the prime meridian passes through Tema in Ghana, so that's why there's a place in Tema we call the meridian. People regard it as a center and they call it center, but the equator is just a few kilometers or meters below the country Ghana. You know what the equator is. Okay, so moving away from that, we are looking at something different concerning Ghana now. We are now entering to look at the administrative regions of Ghana and a map that displays the administrative regions, the important towns, the capital towns or cities of the various regions is referred to as a political map. Okay, so we are going to look at the political map of Ghana. Today we'll look at two things. So we'll look at the political map and we'll also look at the physical map of Ghana. There are so many things we can talk about when we are looking at the maps of Ghana. So we are taking these two today, physical and then political, PP. Okay, so let's go straight into our first map and see what we have here. So here I have two maps. They are the same. So these are the political map. The one on my right side here actually displays the regions of Ghana after the referendum. You remember we used to have 10 regions, 10 solid regions, okay, that after independence. So the 10 solid regions have been, some of them because of their sizes, have been subdivided to create more regions. So additional 6 have been added, and that's what we are looking at. So after we had the addition, we now got the complete 16, and that is what I have here on my screen. So let's take a critical look. You know about the 10, and I'm sure you've been taught you can spell them. In your classrooms, you have them displayed on walls. So the spelling shouldn't be a problem. Just that the updated ones, there's 6 additional regions. Take note of their capital cities, okay? So now let's look at the Upper West. So here we have Upper West region. The capital is still Wa. Then we have the Upper East region. That is, the capital is Bolgatanga. The two upper regions have not been subdivided. So when you go to Wa, there are important towns there. You come to Upper East, which I have not been there before, but I'll try and be there one day. So I know there is Boku and Pusiga here. You remember when we were looking at the latitude that touches the extreme, okay, the northern extreme of Ghana, we did mention Pusiga. And then when we came to the southern extreme of Ghana, we did mention Axim. But when you come down, the land extends, and you remember Cape 3 Point, where Ghana's oil field is discovered. So the Cape 3 Point is also there, where we have the oil. Okay, So that's in the western region anyway. So now let's go back to the top. We are descending from the north down to the south. Okay, so we have northeast. So the northern region, which was the former region we had been subdivided. It was the largest in terms of land size. So when you look here, the second map displays it in terms of land size, and we are going to get into that very soon. But let's look at, so they divided it into three. They maintained the northern region, which is still having its capital as Tamale, and then they created northeast with a capital Nalerigu. Okay, so Nalerigu, Nalerigu. Then they moved further to this part, the western side, and created the Savannah region. So the Savannah region has its capital Damongo, D-A-M-A, capital D-A-M-A-N-G-O. So you just write Da, D-A, and then you add Mango. Alright, so we've talked about the three regions that, or the two regions that were created out of the northern region. Now let's come to this side, the Bono side. So the Bono side, we have the Bono region. Okay, so we don't have Brong Ahafo as it was usually called or formerly called. So we have Bono region with its capital Sunyai, and then we have Bono East. So you look at this side, the Bono East, and then down just southwards of the Bono region, we have the Ahafo region with its capital Guaso, G-O-A-S-O. So you hear about Tano, those places, Tano North, Tano South. They are all in this region, Ahafo region now. Then when you get to Bong Ahafo, the Bono region itself, you hear about Doma Hinkro. Then when you come to Bono East, you have Techiman as its capital, but there are important towns like Kintampo, okay, where we have the popular tourist site, which is the waterfall. So Kintampo is now here, okay, so take note of that. Let's move to this side. Oti shares boundary with Bono East, the Oti region. It was created out of the former Volta region. So the Volta region is still there, but part of it has been cut off, and it is now being seen or regarded as Oti region. Oti region's capital is Dambai, capital D-A-M-B-A-I. So that is it. Then we move to the Volta region itself, still maintaining its capital O, capital H-O. Let's come to the eastern part of Volta region. So it shares boundary with the popular eastern region. So the eastern region where our current president comes from. So we have its capital as Koforidua. So when you get there, you find the region that has a mixture of tribes. So the Krobo people, Somenya, the Equiapin people are there, the Hachims are there, Kwewu people are there, and so on and so forth. Good. All right. The center, we have the Great Ashanti region with Kumasi, Greater Kumasi as its capital. So you still have it there. It has not been subdivided anyway. Coming to the western part, they divided it into two and created Western North out of the former Western region. So we have the Western North with its capital Biosu or Sefibiosu. So then we still have the Western region, normal Western region there with its capital Sekeni Takrady, the Twin City. So Kumasi is the Garden City, Accra the Millennium City. So we come here and now getting to Accra where we are. The central region is there, separating Accra from the western region. So with its capital as Cape Coast, the former capital, okay, during the Gold Coast time, before it was moved to Accra in 1877. So they moved the capital from Cape Coast to Accra. Alright. So we have Greater Accra itself, and then that is where the national capital is. Okay, the country's or the state's capital is Accra. So that is what we have here. So moving to my next map, which is still a political map. This one is just being put or created in terms to show the land size. Okay, the biggest in terms of land size. We will not look at population because we are not doing population. Population is third year. So when we are looking at population, we look at the largest region in terms of population size. But here we are looking at the land size. So the land size, Savannah is still topping. Savannah being created out of the former northern region is still topping as number 1. Then we have northern region as number 2. Then we have Ashanti as number 3. Then we have the Bono East as number 4. Yes. Then number 5 we have Upper West. Okay, so in terms of land size, yes, Upper West, yeah. Then we have 6 Eastern region. In terms of land size, number 6. Then we have Western region as number 7. Then we come to Bono region as number 8 in terms of land size. Then we have Oti as number 9. Then we have Western North, created out of the former Western region, as number 10 in terms of land size. 6 more to go. Then we have Volta region, number 11. Then we have number 12 goes to Central region, okay, in terms of land size. Alright, so 13 goes to Northeast, created out of the former Northern region. Then we have 14 goes to Upper East. Then 15 goes to Ahafo region, created out of the former Brom Ahafo region. That is here. So as number 15 in terms of land size. Then we have number 16, that is the smallest in terms of land size, Greater Accra region. And now we have a lot of people running into Greater Accra to settle in Accra. Everybody wants to come here. The region that has a small land size, or the smallest land size. So you can already tell what is going to happen here. Alright, so this is the political map. What you have to know is that know the 16 regions and know all their capital. Take note of the additional 6 because they are new. Examiners might feel that you are not too familiar or conversant with them, especially with their capital, so they might ask you questions in that regard. Okay, then let's move to the physical map of Ghana. Take note here, I'm going to be saying a lot of things, so make notes out of them. So when we mention physical map, it's showing 2 things. I've put them into 2 categories. Relief, category A, relief, and then drainage. So physical map will mainly show the relief and then drainage. So draw your spidergram, a box, put physical map in it, okay, and then draw 2 arrows. Arrow 1, make it relief. Arrow 2, make it drainage. I hope you got that. So relief and drainage, all under physical map. Good. Now we'll further break the relief down into 2 parts. So you come down under the relief and then you indicate the 2 arrows again. Show this, one part showing Highlands and another part showing Lowlands. Okay, alright, we'll further break them down. Under the Highlands, we'll have mountains and hills. Then under the Lowlands, we'll have plains, plains, plain, a plain surface. and then we'll have valleys, valleys, valleys. Okay, so we can put that under the lowlands. Generally, when we talk about drainage features, we are referring to rivers, lakes, and other water bodies. But on this map, we will focus more on the rivers and the lakes that are found in Ghana. They are so popular. So we'll look at those ones now. So on a map, take note, rivers are represented with blue color. Blue color. So lines in the blue color you see. And then the highlands and the lowlands, mostly they use brown colors to represent them. So you see where we have the blue, you know there is a water body, there is a river or a lake there. And then where we have the brown, look at the highlands and the lowlands. So let's see, what are some of these common ones or popular ones in Ghana that even some of them serve as tourist sites to today? Okay, so we'll first look at our mountains, our highlands. So normally, considering the hills and the high hills are not as high, they measure them. Take note, mountains or hills are measured above sea level. They are measured above sea level because the sea, in terms of geography, the sea is considered to be the lowest part of the earth.
It's 15 hours.
Okay, so from that part you can measure the surface of the land, because when someone is standing on the land, the person can say that, okay, if another person is also standing at the other end, you can't tell whether one is higher, okay, or measure from that point and say that yours is the lowest point. So you start calculating the height of the person. Okay, so what we do is that we use the level of the sea to measure the height of the land, being it a highland or the lowland. So I've told you, it is always, when you give the meters, we say so and so meters, or this meters above sea level, above sea level. That is when you are describing the height of a mountain, above sea level. Always remember that. Okay, so now let's look at our topmost highlands, popular one. They are found in a certain range. They are found in a certain range. And it's so interesting. You get to this part of eastern region, you find some highlands over there in chains, and they range, or somebody will say they follow, okay, each other or one another, and they are in, that's how they are being formed till they hit the borders of Ghana, okay, entering parts of Togo, So we look at this area, from this area to this area. So they are in the area of Ekwapim, okay, and then they range from there and then continue to be in chains. Then we find them entering the border line, or the border between Ghana and Togo. Okay, so because of that, we call those mountains over there the Ekwapim Togo range. The Ekwapim Togo range, because the mountains range, or there are chains of mountains that range from the area around Ekwapim all the way to Togo. Okay, all right. So we'll look at them. When you come here, you find the Kwewu Plateau in the eastern region. So a plateau, which is spelled Plateau, plateau. So plate, when you cut it, you get plate out of it. Plateau, plate. So when you turn a plate upside down, you see how it shapes, and then the down part, as it's being turned upside down, has become flat. So any mountain with a flat top is described as a plateau, a mountain, a hill, a highland with a flat top. That is it. So because of that nature of it, people are able to climb it easily, or if possible, and then get there and settle at the top. So when you go to Kwewu, we have the Nkoko people down there, and then the Kwewu people on top of the mountain. So they have moved to settle on top of that mountain because it is a plateau. It has a flat surface where structures can be put up. So it is in that region, eastern region. Remember, eastern region's capital is Koforidua. So you find a lot of mountains. So the Latte Mountains too, you find them there. Those of you come from that area. So we move from then, we cross the Volta Lake or the River Volta, this deep one. Then you get to the borders of this. So many mountains. So let's begin from Oti region. In this area where we have Kwanta, the area around Ketekrachi, there is this mountain called Mountain Jebobo. Mountain Jebobo. Okay, so they are there. They also chain up over there. But I'll start with the highest, the popular one, Afaja Mountain. So Afaja To, the To is an Ewe word which means mountain. So when you say Afaja To, you need not to add mountain again. So Afaja To is now meaning Afaja Mountain. But if you want to omit the To, the T-O, then you say Mountain Afaja or Mount Afaja. Its height is 885 meters above sea level. So you should always remember to add the above sea level. That's the height. 885 meters above sea level. Okay. Hope you are following closely. The second highest is the Jebobo Mountain or Mountain Jebobo, which is around this area. So its height is 875 meters above sea level. So write them down. Mountain Afaja, 885 meters above sea level. Mountain Jebobo, 875 meters above sea level. And Jebobo is spelled D, capital D, J, E, B, O, B, O. So that is Jebobo. Following Jebobo, we have a mountain with a height of 872 meters. 872 meters. And that is Mountain Turubani. Mountain Turubani. Very solid jaw-breaking names. Mountain Turubani. Capital T O R O G B A N I. Mountain Turubani. The height is 872 meters above sea level. Okay, then we have another mountain following that with a height of 863 meters above sea level. And that mountain is also still in the Volta region. Afekbaje. Powerful name. So Mountain Afekbaje. Afekbaje is spelled A, capital A, V, E, G, B, E, G, B, A, sorry, D, J, E. I'll spell it again. Capital A, V, E, G, B, A, D, J, E. So that is Avegbaje. So these are the high mountains in that area, in the Kwapim Togo range. The Kwapim Togo range. Okay. Then when you come to the Ashanti region, you have the Mampong Scarp. So you have the scarp there. That one too, a bit of a hill with some steep side, not too slopey anyway. So you find that one too. There's also a tourist site. Okay. Then coming to this area, Kumasi, the western region area, you have some forest dissected plateau over there. I've told you what a plateau is. So those plateaus have been, they have this forestry area because there's some kind of vegetation or trees and a lot of plants have grown here, and they have covered the surface of the plateau or the highlands over there. Okay, moving up north, there's a popular one, the Gambaga Scarp. Gambaga Scarp. So it's here around this area, upper east. The Gambaga Scarp is also in that area. It's also a tourist site. Then we go to the lowlands now. So the lowlands, I told you that we have the plains and we have the what? The valleys. So a valley is a lowland between two highlands. But when we talk about plains, there's like a flat surface of a land, very broad, which extends to a very long distance. Okay, so those of you who live in Accra and live in areas around Bong, Tema, going to Adan area, you find the Accra Plains in that area. So you have the Accra Plains, this area, on this stretch of the road, you find it on that side. So if you are moving from Accra to Aflau, you are likely to pass by the Accra Plains in this area. Okay. We also have the coastal plains when you are visiting Cape Coast. So you have the coastal plains. So plain, the flat extension of land around or close to the coastal areas. So the coastal plains are also here. Then we can have the savanna plains when you get to the northeast area, and then the savanna area. You get to Tamale, you find the savanna plains. Broad land and can be used for the cultivation of millet and other farm produce. Okay, so these are some of the highlands that we can mention so far. All right, so what can we look at? Again, we'll go to the category B, where we look at the rivers and the lakes. So the blue lines, you see this one over there, Ankobra here, entering the sea. You find the popular Pra River or River Pra, also entering the sea. Then we have Tano in this area. Tano is also entering the sea, but it enters La Côte d'Ivoire because Ghana shares borders with La Côte d'Ivoire. We learned it in the previous lesson in the west. So shares borders, and then it enters. So Tano. So if you are being asked a question, the River Bia also enters the this place, Côte d'Ivoire. But Tano enters Côte d'Ivoire, and then back into Ghana again, and then it enters the sea. So take note of River Tano. Questions can be asked about it. Then Densu River is around this area, where you have the Densu River also entering this part of the sea. So those of you who have traveled to Cape Coast, when you are going on the hill, when you pass by Kandishi and you are getting to Weija area, so you find the Weija Dam. There is a water body over there. In Sawam area, there's a part where the Densu River passes through. Okay, so that is where Densu is. It flows in all these areas and then meets with the River Birim. River Birim, capital B-I-R-I-M. So we'll be looking at some of the rivers anyway, and we'll talk about the river song, a popular river song that most of you know. Then Birim enters Pra or meets with Pra, and then Ofin also around area in Dunkwa on Ofin. So Dunkwa is a town on the Ofin River, and then enters River Pra, and then River Pra flows into the sea. So if you are being asked to mention some rivers of Ghana that directly enter the sea, you should be able to do that. We'll go and look at the river song, and then you get it from there. Now let's look at the major river volta, biggest one, where Dr. Kwame Nkrumah had to divert and then form a lake to construct the Akosombo Dam on it. Okay, so we have this, it has two sources, but they are all from main source is from Burkina Faso. So you see Black Volta from this side, Black Volta, so flows from this side and then enters River Volta. Then we have White Volta also from this side, straight from Burkina Faso, and then enters. So we call them two small rivers joining a major one. So they are tributaries. They are tributaries. So we call them tributaries. So we'll learn about features of rivers, but not at this level now. So don't get confused. Just know that these two smaller rivers or major rivers enter the main river Volta. So they form the Volta basin. So on the plain land, the river just flows on that particular land. Take note that every flowing river has its source from a highland. Okay, have its source from a highland. So it could be flowing from that part, and that is how it becomes a river or a lake. Okay, so we've spoken about White Volta and then the Black Volta. People also ask questions about the Red Volta. Yes, but it doesn't flow as much as the Black and the White Volta flows. So during the dry season, it gets dried up at a point. So Black and White have become more popular than the Red Volta. It is not that their colors are black or white. They have just used them to differentiate between the two. So this one flows from this side. This one also flows from this side. And because this is closer to the Bono region, okay, and then the Bono East, they've been able to divert it and construct the Bui Dam. The Bui Dam. The Bui Dam. So you hear about the popular Bui Dam. It is the Black Volta that has been diverted and has been used to construct that particular dam, generating an amount of electricity for us, or power for us. Okay, so these are some of the physical features on the map of Ghana. We'll quickly go, before we end it, to go into the river song, and then you see this popular song that you've been singing. Sounds like an anthem of a certain school in Ghana here, popular secondary school, but you can get it easily from here. So the river song, I will try my best with my nice voice and sing for you. So you have to get all the. So he said, River Bia and Tano, River Ankobra and Pra. All these rivers flow to the south through the Equapim Hills, you see. So I told you that most rivers, flowing rivers, have their source from a highland. Now look at 1, 2, 3, 4. So you already have, and you know that River Volta enters the sea in Adan and even Keta. So if you add River Volta to this, you can get 5 major rivers in Ghana that enter the sea. You'll be able to answer that question. So name 5 major rivers in Ghana that enter the sea. River Bia, River Tano, River Ankobra, River Pra. Then you can go and pick River Volta and add to it. Then you get your complete answer. 5 is enough. Okay. So we have River Densu, River Afram in Afram Plains. So let me show you the area. So around this place we have River Afram. Yes, in the Oti region. Okay, so you can find it over there. Then we have Oti is also a river, so it's also there in the Oti region. And then Black Volta and White Volta, the small rivers or the tributaries of the River Volta. Okay, so the song goes like this. River Bia and Tano, River Ankobra and Pra. All these rivers flow to the south through the Equapim Hills. River Densu, River Afram, River River voter N-O-T, black voter and white voter. River Bia and Tano, River and Cobra and Cra. All these rivers flow to the south through the Crapping Hills. River Densu, River Afram, River Volta N-O-T, black Volta and white Volta. Hello dear students, so we've been able to look at the two major maps, which are the political maps and the physical map of Ghana, and we've seen the features, we've seen the names, get the height of these mountains, and you are good to go. Continue to read ahead. The next lesson will be looking at our vegetation and some other maps all about Ghana, because the topic is Ghana, my country. Keep revising, be good students out there, and be safe. Be good boys and girls. Thanks for watching JCL Tutorials. See you another time.